When I was 12, my parents finally felt I was mature enough to stay home alone. We lived in a quiet suburb, peaceful streets, spacious yards, friendly neighbors, a place where kids rode bikes after dark and everyone waved hello. So on a Saturday night, they dropped me off with $20 for pizza, a PS2, and the freedom to chill. I was neck deep in my third playthrough of James Bond, Nightfire, when I decided I'd earned some dinner. Janice Pizzeria was just a few blocks away, a family favorite. When the doorbell rang, I dashed down with the money. The delivery guy was rough, 30-something, scruffy beard, black trucker hat. He handed me the pepperoni pie, counted out my change, and then paused, looking past me into the house, asking, "You alone here?" It shook me a bit. I lied and said my folks were on their way. He nodded, left, and I went back upstairs to my Bond marathon. Around 11 p.m., I heard the bell again. I nearly did cartwheels thinking it was my parents. I called down, "Mom, Dad." Instead, a stranger's voice answered, "Hey, I need help. Can I use your phone?" Panic surged. I didn't respond. I crept upstairs. As I passed the front door, I heard him bang on it, begging, "Please, I need help." I knew he'd seen me through the window above the door. My heart was pounding. I ran into my parents' room, grabbed the house phone, and called my mom. She answered, tipsy from a night out with friends. My voice trembled as I explained. Suddenly the doorbell rang twice in a row. Then I heard the backyard gate open. Quiet, almost sneaky. My mom told me to lock the door and stay put. She'd called the cops. I crouched by their bed, covering the phone receiver with my hand. Then I heard footsteps inside the house. My mom screamed into the phone, "The police are inside. Get out." I froze. She told me to hide under the bed. I pressed myself flat, listening as the intruder's footsteps crept up the hall, jiggled the doorknob, knocked lightly and then receded. Minutes later, I heard heavy boots, and a voice shout my name. "Police, open up." 2 officers burst in upstairs, 2 more downstairs. The front door hadn't been broken. Someone had slipped in through the ajar back door and sliding window. I told them everything. The pizza guy asking if I was home alone, the man at the door, the footsteps. The next night, my parents dragged me to Janice. We asked the manager about the driver. He said the guy I described was Phil, but Phil was out on deliveries. The manager said the description didn't match any employee. When my parents said they'd never order from there again, the manager politely asked us to leave. We called lawyers but had no proof. The pizzeria lost our business, and my parents didn't trust me home alone for a long time after. I can't shake the feeling that the pizza guy was more than he seemed. Who else would have known we were alone? Fast forward a few years, we'd moved from California to a secluded dream home in North Idaho. 2 stories, a bar, theater basement, no neighbors for miles, just forest. One night, I had my girlfriend over, and during Gladiator my gut coil said something was wrong. I kept seeing shadows, unease prickling on my skin. After she left and I went to switch off lights in the basement, I looked out through the glass doors. A man, wild hair, filthy clothes, was tapping a knife against the patio glass. Close enough I could smell him. He stood there silently, smiling. My blood froze. I flipped off the lights, ran upstairs. My parents came home just in time and called the police. The description matched someone reported prowling the area, but he vanished without a trace. Days passed. At night, I'd hear tapping. Rain, snow, bare nights. I'd hear that rhythmic tap 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 on glass. It sometimes woke me at 3 a.m. I even felt someone pacing on the roof once. My parents bought me a shotgun, got a Rottweiler named Bear. The tapping faded, but the memory stayed. One snowy night, I was alone again. Bear heard someone outside, barking, growling. Then came a hollow knock at the door. I stayed silent, locked inside. Next morning, I found footprints all around the house, right up to every window. Later that evening, I flipped on backyard lights from the second-story deck. The man stood in the woods, wearing the same wild smile, holding a knife. I yelled, fired a warning shot, and Bear was unleashed. He chased whoever it was into the darkness. I've never seen that guy again. March 2022. I was a sophomore in college. My friends and I rented a cabin in rural South Carolina. No Wi-Fi, just woods, and a lake. The owner warned, "Don't go deep into the woods. Old stuff back there." We brushed it off. On the first night, peaceful at first, but around 4 a.m., I woke up to a steady tap 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 at my ground floor window. A guy, pressed against the glass, no shirt, wild, pale, eyes wide. He tapped softly, sinking me cold with fear. I shook awake a friend. We flicked on the porch light, and he bolted. The next morning, we found footprints circling the cabin, stopping at every window, including one above the shower. Our group tried to rationalize, lost hunter, prankster, but we knew it was no accident. We locked the doors, kept watch that second night. Around 3:30 a.m., one of us went to the kitchen and saw him, insane, naked, scratched, swaying slowly, staring into the fridge. We jolted on the lights. He was gone. The back door was open, unlocked, no signs of forced entry. We left 20 minutes later, too scared to do anything but go. We told a deputy at a diner. He wasn't surprised. "Yeah, folks squat out there sometimes," he said. The cabin listing disappeared. We never got our deposit back. We drove away, and his face, wide-eyed, grinning crazily, still flickers across the back of my mind when I wake up at night. We don't talk about that trip much, but none of us have been back to South Carolina since. Those nights taught me something. Danger can find you in the most ordinary of places. Safe suburbs, dream homes, rented cabins, doesn't matter. Sometimes the scariest stories start with a pizza delivery, a tapping window, or a midnight knock, when you're supposed to be alone.